let's dive on into the next one, huh? So we tried Viktor with Riven earlier today. Up next, we're going to try Viktor, Viktor along with Ezreal, along with a Targon splash. So Viktor here cares about seeing you play created cards and creates you a hex score every turn and has augment, so it gets bigger when created cards are played. His Hexacore is just a cheap created card that gives him a keyword and helps trigger all of your augment Dorkos. One of the ideas behind pairing Viktor specifically with Targon is that Targon has the invoke mechanic, which creates cards as well. You got things like star shaping to invoke. Targon also has the gem mechanic, which are created cards that trigger our augmented things very easily. So we've got kind of a low-ish curve deck. We do have a number of interactive elements like Mystic Shot, Aftershock, and Static Shock because Ezreal cares about seeing you target things to level up. For the most part, this deck's probably not going to level Ezreal super quickly, mostly looking to utilize this as another evasive threat that also has a lot of board control elements to it, because it does just create its own Mystic Shots as it connects with the opponent. So let's go ahead and dive on into some games here. With this one, I'm interested to see how this one compares to the Riven build that we played earlier. Howdy, Jace. Yes, Ezreal also generates created cards which pair with our augmented things, which is great. Monkey Aristocrat sounds like fun. I'll get that bumped up after I'm done streaming today. Triple D. Speaking of, there's a ton of decks in the Runeterra queue. If you're someone that watches regularly and you have those channel points building up, you can take a peek at the deck queue on my website, and you can use those channel points to make a deck be played sooner in the queue. You are also welcome to donate dollars or share bits to move decks up in the queue or add your own new decks to the queue. But just watching the stream and earning channel points is another way you can help control what gets played when. Garen Oriental, eh? I'm gonna mulligan these two, looking for cheaper things on curve to curve into these two. Unfortunately, did not find any of our 2-drops. Right on time, Ballistic Bot. Welcome to the party.
I rise anew.
Spends your shills now before the shillonomic collapse. Do I want to attack into Sharp Sight? Yeah, I think that's fine, because I could Spell Thief it and Sharp Sight back. One point per 100 bits. Tighten the clock. So $1 bumps the deck one point in the queue. So the decks in the queue collect a point for every day they've been waiting to be played, as well as every dollar donated towards seeing them played. Huh? This is actually kind of annoying, because now if I kill the scout, Beamer will be able to kill Viktor. Got any tips for expeditions? So, one of the things that's really cool about expeditions is that, generally speaking, they try to keep them pretty balanced in terms of which archetypes are competitive, and because it's kind of a guided experience, you can generally expect most things to be reasonable in it. So my number one piece of advice for getting better at expeditions is definitely watch what your curve is doing. Just like deck building in any part of any game, making sure your deck has a cohesive game plan in terms of that is very important.
Unleash new potential.
Electroplating complete.
Fortunately, Viktor's gonna die here. I'm gonna go ahead and trade this now, so that way this generates and doesn't have Challenger. Another Viktor in hand though, which is nice.
Flesh is a weakness we must shed.
do you know of shedding?
We fight for those who cannot.
What do you know of shedding?
They take it to the gun show.
Bounce!
Just gonna make spell mana here.
Can you improve perfection?
We do what is right.
Huh? I think I just take this hit. Orion Soul is their second champion. I'm gonna Hex Core upgrade to start here.
Ready.
So their Garen's still gonna get to level up here.
We must not relent.
Lose our champion here too, unfortunately.
Demacia will prevail.
We played Vlad Soraka, YZ.
Safety disengaged.
Oh, I could have spell thiefed the single combat. Yeah, that probably was the play.
The light of my star warms the heavens.
Yeah, I think, if I recall, I think I called it Noxious Soraka or something because Vlad was bad and we tried a second champion with it too.
It is time.
System upgrade. Fire till nothing moves.
Alright, Swain was the other one we tried with it.
Prime and ready.
That was it. I knew we tried two things.
Behold me now, hairless apes!
Says Victor Zoe. You can find our current deck list by typing !deck into your chat box. If you're on desktop, it's also on your screen via the overlay. Should we destroy the Grand Plaza? Maybe. I do wish some of the tools surrounding Runeterra streaming were a little bit better. Coming from Magic, they kind of suck. The Runeterra overlay extension just doesn't work on mobile. So I can just kill this, right?
I've licked my wounds too long.
I guess this is bad against interaction out of them. Maybe I'm just supposed to single combat here. The magic overlay didn't work on mobile either. It just gave you... Yeah, the Mobilytics one doesn't even give the deck list mobile combat. And actually, one of the magic overlays did work on mobile, for reference. Deckmaster worked on mobile. So the Cardboard Live, the more popular one, didn't put the board state on mobile, but at least put the deck list up. And in Runeterra, the deck list doesn't even exist on mobile.
The heavens diminish without my attention. Oh my.
Yeah, the other one wasn't updated as often, so it, generally speaking, didn't get used. Like, I used Cardboard Live for a reason. That's probably too little too late. I have this to kill this, potentially, so they can't level this up, but I think we probably waited too long to kill the Plaza this game. Opponent's archetype actually looking a lot like what I was talking about at the end of the last set with the Riven Lucian, where they're like a bigger deck using Plaza as a control tool. That seems good. How soon after release were those tools available? I have no idea. That doesn't matter.
Right now.
That's irrelevant.
Be quiet.
Yeah, I think I left Plaza on the board too long this game. But yeah, it would be great if Mobilytics had a bot like Stream Decker where like people could type deck in chat and it would give you a link to the exact deck list I'm currently playing, and as well as pulling it up on the extension on mobile would be ideal. Just please copy and paste the good features the other games have. Yeah, I could have tried to save the Viktor earlier that game too. The combination of saving Viktor and killing Plaza probably would have been enough to change the outcome. Alright, well we have the augment curve here.
Was weak, but look at me now. Can you improve perfection?
Just gonna try and murder this with the Mystic Shot, I think. They have Pale Cascade, they don't get to draw a card when they save it here. Getting to 1-for-1 a goat always feels good. I think I'm just banking. Am I banking spell mana? Yeah, I'm gonna bank spell mana here, and then we'll play Viktor and then Ignition next turn. I think is the plan. Rather than playing this and getting additions I'm not gonna use.
Join the glorious evolution. The flashbacks will bow, Great Maker.
Make the flesh bags bow, chat. So we'll get to Ignition this turn, and then next turn we'll have 5 mana plus a spell mana. So we can go augment into another ignition on their turn. Insert Spider-Man pointing meme here. And then we'll have a bunch of augment cards along with a bunch of created cards next turn to pump up the jam. Hey, thanks for the 2 entire years, Griffin. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Glad you came over to Runeterra stuff with me. Yeah, I forgot. That's what I opened my emote box looking for. Forgot to put a Viktor emote on this loadout.
Daylight warms the heart and lights the way.
You still cling to flesh and fur?
Even the greatest mind likes pets.
Electroplating completed.
Challenger. Okay, well that changes my sequencing. Now I have to do this right away. And they're still gonna get to eat one of my things.
Always forward.
Challenger. Viktor gaining Challenger there is a reason to play this before the cat.
Our goals are
It's a
greater
mistake.
than violence. Fire till nothing moves. Safety disengaged. System upgrade.
Maybe I'm supposed to play that first.
Safety disengaged.
Okay, now we're playing Ezreal so we can murder this, right?
Skill.
Can you improve perfection?
Okay. I think I'm supposed to Mystic Shot this in response so they can't roll tough.
Firing. Stop bragging if you could back it up.
So, would love to draw a Rummage here. Yeah, produces ain't terrible. Can use all of our mana, play this for 3, 5, 6, 7.
Obsolete.
Or Elusive. Yeah, Elusive would have also been bad for us there. I think I'm into Golden Sisters.
Guide you, my brethren.
Can buff our life total back up. It does put a created Ezreal into the deck, that's true.
My future.
Okay, so I think I need to Ignition first here. So this way this bot can be big enough to block this bot in case they want to get frisky.
Once I stamp papers, now faces. System upgrade.
System upgrade.
Safety disengaged.
Huh? Well, I was gonna play Golden Sister. I don't think we can pass up Kitty Cat here. So we can go Cat into V's, into attack, into Mystic Shot something.
Improve perfection. Join me if you want to live. System upgrade. Safety disengaged.
And then honestly, I think I'm Mystic Shotting their 7-3 here, so that way we can block with the 1-2 and kill it.
I don't miss.
I don't really want to trade this off because I want to keep getting ignitions to make this bigger.
Inferior design.
Wait, they're letting Ezreal live? Okay. I guess you could spell thief there and hush them back, but I don't know if the cat's that important. I have another cat here.
I'm ready.
What once was two, now is one.
Yeah, that explains why they let Ezreal live.
Rise, metal brethren.
We were two.
Evolve or die.
I'm gonna take this hit. And then we'll go Mimic into Nyandroid, because this is a created Nyandroid. And then this will be a 4/4 lifesteal elusive.
See through someone else's eyes.
This will be very hard for them to race.
Stands for
Aren't you the cutest vicious genius?
If you'd only known meow when I was all feline.
System upgrade. Hey, take it to the gun show.
Witness superiority.
And trying to draw a third Hush here.
Safety disengaged.
Build your own Sparkle Fly. Yep. This isn't terrible. It means that,
Humankind must realize its full potential. The time of machines is now.
this means that I'll be able to kill Vi after she hooks one of my 4-power things here. It's important to Mystic Shot her before damage happens, so that way, what's the word I'm searching for? So that way, they can't heal her in response to the Mystic Shot. I wasn't a huge fan, Pyromancer. I think I'm holding on to this in case we draw a bad card for the turn.
Metal is perfection. Rise, metal brethren.
Hey, there's the star shaping that could have saved Vi. Glad we played around that. That being said, we're in a pretty bad spot here. Hoping to hit like a star shaping of our own. Something that can allow us to go big.
Ingenious.
Ask and ye shall receive.
eternal flame.
They have something big to play out here still too, though.
Genius in action. Electrofleeting completed. Clumsy design.
think it's right to throw this away and push my damage here. They can see it being right to just attack with this, though.
System upgrade. Ingenious.
Bask in her radiant
Is Viktor even good here? Is it crazy to sump Viktor? Feel like it's not. Viktor can grind? Can you explain to me how Viktor grinds? Viktor literally doesn't generate card advantage. So please, please explain, because I'm not seeing it.
I'm ready.
Viktor grinds because he's all metal. Oh, it's the Vorthos grind. Got it. That makes sense.
one girl wrecking crew.
Safety disengaged.
Oh, gosh. Are we dead? We might be dead.
Devotion through battle. Freeze.
How'd they all get overwhelmed? Oh, this gives them overwhelm. Got it. Got it. Super dead. Mono Zoe with Iona. So Wrecker, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the channel. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Do we hit there? Yeah, 12:15. This is in fact afternoon. All right, people playing real decks. Nice. Like to play some games against people playing real decks. I think Aftershock's probably a little slow here. I'm gonna trade down in terms of tempo most times with it. I have Ezreal in order to kill a Twisted Fate early. I could be right to keep Aftershock just for killing Elise. So one of the things, one of the things that's important to understand about playing decks early in a format is that, for example, you'll notice a lot of the decks and games we've been playing recently is like, we're playing Viktor mirror matches, or we're playing against a bunch of Riven, or we're playing against a bunch of Scargrounds decks. And while it's fun to experiment, you don't really know if the deck you're working on is good until you really get a chance to play it against the other good decks that are known to be good in the format. Because people take a break to try other things, and like slamming your potentially bad brew into other potentially bad brews doesn't really let you figure out what's good or not.
System upgrade.
Time for
This rummage here will be super clean. We get to smack them with Ezreal, and then we can rummage away the fleeting edition and the fleeting Mystic Shot, which is great.
I don't miss.
To get value on these with this.
Prime and ready.
Don't stand in my way.
Kinda surprised they didn't hook this. I think we just take the hit here and then plan to deploy Viktor next turn. Could eat the spider just to keep that in check.
You're between me and glory.
I have another Ezreal in case this one dies.
Join the glorious evolution. The flashbacks will bow, great maker.
Get bloody, get paid.
So we'll get 2 generated cards next turn.
Game. Go on then.
The question is, technically 3 with Ezreal. The question is, do I want to use Ezreal's Mystic Shot next turn as well? Might not get an Ezreal Mystic Shot next turn. That hit there probably implies that he's going to die. I think I'm going to go ahead and Niandroid and play both of these, assuming that this is going to die.
The greatest mind likes pets.
Our bird sings, chat. It's pretty good.
Who says I don't share?
No way.
System upgrade.
Start with Hex Core here, see what we get with Viktor.
And ready.
Burned their fleeting card there. That's some good value for us. Star Shaping's not terrible here. Helps us not get burned out in the long game. They've only played 1 Go Hard so far, so I think I feel okay committing to the board for the time being. Drop this down and start augmenting some more.
Time to make some coin.
Their ideas stagnate.
Go ahead and trade this off. Things that are at 1 toughness aren't that great in this matchup anyways.
Son of a...
I'm gonna go ahead and Hexacore upgrade first here to see if we can roll tough on Viktor to keep him alive.
No materials, no improvements.
A game. Go on then.
Yeah, Runeterra has far fewer non-games than... Honestly, it has less non-games than almost any other card game I've ever played. Basically, every game of Runeterra I get to look back on and go, oh, I could have made these choices differently that could have possibly impacted the outcome of what that game did.
Once I stamp papers now, faces?
So as much as I want to get this Viktor down ASAP again, I think it's more important to play Ezreal here so we can kill Twisted Fate.
World's a big place. Let's see all of it.
Let's see all of it. Yeah, we know they don't have any deal ones there after they just did that.
One shot, all skill.
I'm ready.
Firing.
Never lost a fair game. Or played one.
Poor kitty cat.
Can you improve perfection?
Okay. It's a good chance this Ezreal Mystic Shot ends up killing Twisted Fate, keeping them off of the level champion seems pretty important. Yeah, but I'd argue that that's a deck building thing too, Moist Succulent. That's also pretty uncommon. It's a choice you can actively choose to avoid with deck selection. So, like, part of the reason why I don't like the Demacia decks, even though I know they're very good, is because of that, they have that issue. So, like, I choose to not play those decks a lot of the time because I choose to not expose myself to that problem that they have. Yeah. Get that choice aspect into it.
Safety disengaged. Fire till nothing moves.
Wow, I was saying, attacking into my goat and giving me a gem seems great for us here. Yeah, super into that. Triggers my augments and burst speed.
System upgrade.
I'm going to elect to open attacks here because my opponent's deck is a Ruination deck quite frequently.
I'm ready.
Watch and learn.
Yeah, you never mulligan out of a game and start on 0 cards in Runeterra. Also, the open information in Runeterra is huge too, right? Like, in other games where you don't know what deck your opponent's playing to start, the number of times you're like, well, this hand is generically fine, but if my opponent's playing aggro, I lose the game. Or, well, this hand's generically fine, but if my opponent's playing combo, I lose the game. The fact that those games don't exist here is just phenomenal. Alright, so let's Viktor and then Mystic Shot Twisted Fate so we get that augment trigger on him.
Outbreak maker.
And like, even if my opponent eventually rolls up into a pack your bags here, you know, and this is why it's important to get games in against meta decks, right? Like, we played against another Viktor brew, and our deck felt kind of awkward against an opposing Viktor brew, but like, here, we're playing against one of the established decks, and our deck feels very reasonable, right? So I get to do this, and then I get to Mystic Shot, kill the Elise. Which sounds great.
System upgrade.
Charge.
You know, opponent needs Ruination at this point. Even if they Ruinate, I've got these two to gas back up with.
Perfection.
If they attack with this, I'm going to block with some Dredger, assuming that they're going to sweep the board.
I need a rubber chick.
Be nothing left when I'm done.
They can technically still Ruinate here, but I think I'd rather get my Invoke to start. Barrier is not, Spell Shield is. I'm gonna take the Traveler here, because I have enough answers rolled up in my hand that I basically want this to get me more threats, and Traveler is a threat. Zakaria Lenga, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the channel. Ingenious.
No materials, no improvements.
Buddy! Ruinate me, daddy! Ruinate me! I love that these cards just give us endless soft pass. Oh yeah. You know just what I like. Steve! Thanks for the Prime support. I know there's a lot of great people making a lot of great stuff right now. Thanks for supporting mine this month with that. Listen, chat. If you saw us play Targon's Peak yesterday, you know that we're due. We are owed this good luck. It was a good punish for the opponent trying to be greedy with the ruination. I agree.
Yes, perfection.
Well, welcome back, Steve. Yeah, I've been doing Runeterra as my primary content for about 2.5 months now. Last time we played Magic was back in September. I probably will dip back into Magic a little bit when they do their next expansion in January, just see what their standard format looks like then, but definitely, primarily Runeterra these days. It's definitely my favorite card game at the moment. Target's Peak, it was genuinely good television. Genuinely good TV. Draven Ezreal. Mulligan the rest of it. I'm going to keep the Goat as a proactive 2-mana play. Mulligan the rest of these looking for curve filler. Goat into some treasure's good. We can loot the gem away. That's even better.
I am superior life form.
Superior life form. It, like, feels a little bit bad, but they also technically lose tempo on that exchange, right? They traded a 3-mana play for my 2-mana play. Okay, and then we'll return the tempo here and aftershock this, so we're just like at parity now.
Draven out.
With utmost efficiency. My work.
Well, poop.
Once I stab papers, now faces.
Meh.
Flee with 2 E's.
Flee! Flee!
Can you improve perfection?
I'm gonna open attacks here, so that way my opponent doesn't get a chance. They doesn't get a chance to do this to trade here. They can obviously axe here to trade these, but I think I'm fine with that. Static Shock. Yeah, it's fine. I don't think they're discard aggro wax papers. I think they're like the Captain Baron Ezreal mid-range deck. But I would assume my opponent's more of a mid-range deck than an aggro deck. You can't Twitch bots are actual Twitch accounts, Kid Martian. And I don't own MTG Bot. That's made by a third-party person. Can't. It's not a terrible pickup. That can take my followers? That's really good. I did not realize that that is copies opponent's followers too. It's a card we should be playing. I don't really have a great use of my mana this turn. Now we can take the hit and then star shaping. Spell Shield seems good. I guess if I take this one, I can play it next turn. This one technically has to die twice, so it's similar. Not quite Spell Shield, but close. It's actually kind of better than Spell Shield against damage-based removal, huh?
I don't miss. Nailed it.
Get to kill their 3/2 here for free. Costs us some mana, but doesn't cost us a card. Tri-beam, sure.
No way.
That one is much better to kill than this one. Morning Leapert. Probably leading on Solari Priestess this turn. I think I want to block with this. I have a heal 5 in hand here still, so I want to just keep this high so we can try and kill them. When do we expect to reach that one? Probably 2 weeks or so. Just after New Year's or just before. I think the playtime on Final Fantasy was 25 hours or so. So that'll take me a week or two to get through. I'm still going to be playing some Witcher 3 segments on the in-between. I'm into the Traveler here.
Daylight warms the heart and lights the way.
Witness perfection, meatbags.
Meet the bags.
I rise anew.
You playing any of the longer RPGs off stream? No, their full playthroughs are up on stream on my YouTube channel, Burden Approved.
System upgrade.
Huh? Should I just go get another cat? I think I just go get another cat, huh?
Behold me.
Just like trying to kill them with elusives here. This is actually fine, because I can play it this turn to make the cat bigger, and then we can kill their challenger. The latest one. It's great to see Static Shock happen before we play this. I assume they're setting up a flock on here. Hey, Strapurge, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the channel. Wow, no flock. That's great for us. They're just trying to churn through their deck a little bit, I suppose.
Victory requires a sharp blade.
currently cheap on the PlayStation Store. It was free with PS Prime, I believe. Just gonna take Beam and kill their Ballistic bot here, I think.
Unleash new potential.
Yeah, Fox okay with Shock. It takes 2 priority steps, though. The Faith Age, that's more than 4 years. Good morning to you. Wait, why are we... Thanks for keeping me around. Yeah, I need to get a 50-month, or a 60-month sub badge put together. Oh, they have that too. Got it. That makes sense. I need to get a 60-month sub badge put together, because we're going to have some of those soon. So we're going to take 7 here in this combat step. If they have Captain Pharaoh, we could be in trouble. Okay, that's not terrible. Opponent concedes. Okay, deal. I'm a fan of the Expanse. I don't know what that refers to. Golden, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the channel. Good afternoon. I'm not done with this one yet, but I want to take a peek at the list. I think I'm happy with most of our slots so far. Yeah, I don't think I want you so far. Yeah, I don't watch a ton of television. Although Haley has been on a awake till like 1:30 in the morning, so I've been watching a little bit of TV. Then when I'm up with her and the other kids are sleeping. I'm mulligan these, they're slow to start. I think I keep bot Ezreal here. What's the show I've been watching Netflix called? I think the Ozarks, the one. It's a Netflix original about a guy laundering money for a drug cartel. I think it's the Ozarks.
Linger in the air.
Yeah, one's been reasonable. Just got into the 2nd season of that one. I don't watch it very quickly though. Oh, it is the Scumlord himself. I think I'm just Mystic Shotting here. I'm gonna take the pass, actually. We can bank spell mana and then play Ezreal next turn and kill this with the generated Mystic Shot.
Don't blink or you'll miss me.
What's a warrior but hands to wield a weapon? The heart and mind to aim its strike.
So, I think with Riven being played here, I'm gonna shoot Riven and then Thermo Beam this in terms of resource efficiency, and then this Mystic Shot finishes Riven next turn.
I broke from my past. I still can't find peace.
There is nothing so broken it cannot be mended.
I think I just want to beam Tarek here. And then the generated Mystic Shot next turn finishes Riven will take a hit for 3.
Violence to end violence.
That's not true, Sirin. The Spell Thief can take spells while they're still on the stack. I heard someone else say they couldn't Spell Thief the first spell their opponent played in a turn earlier. I think it's bugged. So like, yeah, you could definitely like Spell Thief a Deny or a Nopify while it's on the stack, but I believe it's currently bugged that if nothing else has been played, you can't grab the very first spell while it's on the stack. we get this down to start generating some created cards for the rest of our augment idiots.
Where once there was a sword, only shards remain.
Broken gems show new facets.
Alright, so I feel like it's probably important to just murder Tarek here. I feel like this region combination isn't super likely to play a bunch of protective cards. So if I Aftershock plus Mystic Shot here, this beats Pale Cascade. We get blown out by double Pale Cascade. They could have Bastion. I feel like they probably play more proactive things though in a Noxious slanted deck.
The fight never ends.
Okay, they do have Bastion.
I'm so good, I surprised myself.
To protect all.
The question is, how much reach does their deck have? Do I need to chump block here? It might be right to chump to gain 4.
Oh, take your time, pal. It's not like I've got better things to do.
Must stand resolute.
I mean, Tarek's always good when he gets to attack. When all the pieces come together, Tarek is very powerful. His problem is that he's a 2 or a 10 card where like he's either insane or he just doesn't do anything. You don't have all the supporting pieces to go with him. Yeah, I'm just gonna go to 6 here. It could be right to throw this away for 4 points of life though.
Prime and ready.
Flee with 2 E's.
It could be wrong to play this because if they have another Bastion to protect Tarek from the Mystic Shot, I can't pop the Spell Shield with Static.
System upgrade.
Firing.
Beauty.
We'll play Goat out as another decent blocker, and we'll play this to crank these up to 3 attack.
Prove perfection.
They're going to be able to assemble the Blade next turn, which is probably enough Overwhelm to kill us.
System upgrade.
Fed Vogel, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the channel.
Cost of war.
Would not be surprised if we get combat tricked out of this game. I assume they're going to give her Overwhelm here, even if they're not going to play the Slow Blade on her.
There is surrender and there is life. I will live.
Pitiful.
How did
I
you,
think we did,
Pets?
right? Yeah, so like we've beaten like Draven, Ezreal, and we've lost to things like like Tarek so far in this set. We beat Twisted Go Hard, we beat Draven, Ezreal, we've beaten a lot of the established decks. Wait, why is the government shutting down wax papers? I thought usual budgets being passed doesn't happen until early into the next year. Is there something else that I missed about a government shutdown? Well, Ezreal sounds great here. I'm gonna mulligan the rest of these looking for Mystic shots against their mono 2 toughness deck. We're attacking on odds, which is good here. We can bank spell mana and play Ezreal at Mystic shot right away with him on 3. Why is it shutting down? What did I miss? I feel like I missed something. Usually I'm relatively politically plugged in, but I haven't heard anything about that until someone just mentioned it here now. Kramix, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the channel.
Sounds dangerous. I'm in. Nailed it.
Oh, you said Canada.
Sure.
Pledge yourself to the shadows.
No, this is the U.S. Okay, well I am just very confused then. Yeah, I thought
No sweat.
I didn't realize our fiscal year ended in November. Why did I think it was into next year?
Only the worthy survive.
They've been passing temporary budget bills for a while now, and the most recent one's about to expire. Okay.
Bask in her radiant blessings. New recruit reporting in. I'll do my best.
Well, I think we might have died, chat.
Or burn.
One shot, I'll die.
I thought it was after last. I thought it was January, but I'm gonna be honest. I don't remember the timeline at this point.
Firing.
Do not fear the shrouded path.
All right, very dead to second Zed. Very dead to second Zed.
2 out of 3.
In fairness, this is clearly the worst timeline, so who wants to remember it all? Braum Anivia. Yeah, January of 2020 was 10 years ago at this point. I think I'm into bot. It's a threat. Bot. We're drawing Rummage. I'm really happy to have kept bot.
Humanity is obsolete. Safety disengaged.
I rise anew.
I think I'm actually going to play the Ignition here, because it lets us push some damage nicely.
They take it to the gun show. It pass me.
As well, we'll get another one next turn that we can use with the Rummage.
Safety disengaged.
Or Sump Dredger now.
What do you have?
Howdy, Kiki.
Let's take this outside.
And then I think I'm supposed to open attacks here because my opponent has Ruination mana available. I think getting a champion here sounds like our best option. Shouldn't I go ahead? Am I gonna do that? Nah, I'm gonna go ahead and rummage. Let's ditch the third beam in this.
Forever watch.
I'm gonna do this as a soft pass. Generate a cat here.
I bring the storm, rend the skies.
Flee with 2 E's.
Yeah, all of the augment cards are in the latest set. That was a new keyword.
Hairball. Pursuit.
I think I'm just opening on attacks here. I guess they don't have Ruination mana. Let's play the Mimic out. Let's try and kill them. Then I'm actually not gonna attack with the goat here because killing this means they can rekindler it back, so I'd rather they not be able to rekindler this turn. I don't like the new cards. I think this is the best expansion Riot's done to date. Feels like they've really hit a sweet spot of the amount of deck building that we have available to us here. Oh, they're Feel the Rush Anivia. Well, yeah, I guess that makes sense. I was definitely not playing around this card. I don't know if I could have made decisions to play around that. Huh? Yeah, I mean, I guess we could spell steal it and swing it back, but it feels like we're still pretty dead at that point. I think I have to murder this, so that way they can't have 2 Anivia attack triggers. I think I play Viktor as, hey, look, a distraction. I'd rather they kill Viktor than my elusive, I think, here. Oh, with the Viktor play, I can't thief and feel the rush next turn. I'm 1 short. Shit. I miscounted that. It's a pretty big mistake.
It is easy, see?
I have to kill the egg there.
A new era begins.
If you'd only known meow when I was all feline. You'll find me a formidable foe. Inimitable.
Guess if we draw an Ezreal, we can cast it here, huh? Nope. Yeah, Frostbolt. The box! That's just rude. I'm gonna wrap up on this one. Really wasn't super impressed with this build or direction of the deck. Notably, the augment keyword is definitely something that's aggressively slanted, and this pairing of Star Shaping and Solari Priestess with these augment cards just really didn't feel particularly good. I definitely much preferred the Zoe Viktor deck we played yesterday, or the Ribbon Viktor deck we played earlier today. It feels like having that more aggressive slant to pair with the augment cards as opposed to these cards that go bigger just makes a lot more sense. Someone earlier in chat we had a discussion about Viktor grinding, and he really doesn't do that, right? Like, he generates you a card each turn, but these cards he's generating aren't worth a card, right? Like, putting a random keyword on Viktor, while it's a nice enabler for augment things, it lets them be aggressive. It doesn't generate card advantage, and I feel like this archetype as a whole is better suited to be a more aggressively slanted mid-range deck as opposed to one that's looking to go a little bit bigger with effects like this. So overall, while we had a number of game wins in there in terms of like this feeling cohesive, it felt like what we were doing with the specific target cards in this build didn't feel like it really meshed well with what the augment package as a whole is looking to do and execute. Get you later, Jace. Yep, we got one more deck here today still. We're gonna shift gears for the last chunk of the stream. We're gonna play some Leona